From almost burning down his own farm to being one bad decision away from getting arrested, Jeremy Clarkson's attempt at gentle agriculture has been an absolute car crash. Today we're counting down the 15 biggest, most expensive, and most illegal-feeling mishaps at Diddly Squat.
You're fired.
What?
At number 15, we have Jeremy's first, and arguably most embarrassing, encounter with the world of livestock.
Decided to leave the youngsters to deal with Psycho Pig.
Now, most farmers use gates, logic, and maybe a bit of grain to move animals. Jeremy? He decided to use his own body as a human blockade.
Post over. He'll do that.
Do that.
The problem is, Jeremy is 6'5", built like a wardrobe, and the gap he's trying to squeeze into was designed for, well, it's like watching a giraffe try to fit into a kitchen cabinet.
I can't move around in that. I'm 63.
Oh, yes, you are.
But the best part? The naming convention. Because nothing says successful agricultural brand like naming your pigs after people who definitely shouldn't be mentioned on a family farm.
Michael.
I know who Jimmy Savile is. Can we not just say that?
No, because it's not the same thing.
Coming in at number 14, we see Jeremy learning the hard way that on a farm, the government is always watching. He's finally got his fertilizer delivered, but before he can even think about growing anything, cheerful Charlie arrives to ruin the mood.
We've got some hay in there,
Yeah.
so we need to move the hay. So you can't store a combustible product such as hay, straw, or anything like that with fixed quite well. So you've got an
Why
oxidizing
not?
agent.
Why not? Why not? There's-
Well, because
Apparently, storing hay next to fertilizer is a big no-no. Why? Because according to the rulebook, Jeremy's barn was essentially one spark away from becoming a low-budget space program.
Really?
Look at his face. That is the look of a man who just wanted to grow some wheat, but instead got a lecture on chemical volatility.
Fucking useless.
At number 13, Jeremy decides to save the planet. He buys a solar-powered water pump to move water from a pond, claiming he's going to give nature a chance.
Could piss faster than that.
It's a beautiful, poetic idea. There's just one problem. Nature in the UK consists mostly of grey clouds and disappointment. When the sun finally does come out, the results are, well, let's just say a leaky tap has more pressure.
Oh! Could piss faster than that.
Naturally, Jeremy's patience lasted exactly 12 seconds. He immediately ditches the power station in the sky for his true love, a massive petrol-chugging generator. He calls it speed and power.
Oh!
Number 12 brings us to the harvest, the most stressful week in the farming calendar. Jeremy's job is simple. Drive a tractor alongside a massive combine harvester and catch the grain as it pours out. Simple, right? Not when the man driving the combine is Gerald, a local legend who speaks a dialect that hasn't been understood by humans since the 14th century. Jeremy has no idea what's happening, no idea where to drive, and absolutely no idea what Gerald just said on the radio. And there it is, gold pouring onto the floor. In the farming world, that's not just grain, that's literal cash falling into the mud. Jeremy is panicking. Gerald is likely shouting something encouraging in Cotswoldese, and the grain trailer is everywhere except where it needs to be.
Okay, got you. I haven't, but...
Coming in at number 11, Jeremy decides that border collies are so last century. Instead, he buys a high-tech drone equipped with a speaker to play recordings of barking dogs. He calls it a sheep drone. Everyone else calls it an expensive way to confuse a field full of animals. On paper, it's genius. In practice, well, Jeremy is about to find out that sheep don't actually respect robots. It was actually working. For about 10 seconds, Jeremy felt like a god looking down from the heavens. But then, the sheep realized two things. One, the dog was made of plastic. And two, Jeremy was the one controlling it.
Going into the village!
Suddenly, the flock isn't heading for the gate. They're staging a high-speed breakout toward the local village. By the time Jeremy caught up, he was on the verge of a coronary and the sheep were halfway to the pub. If you think a drone is a weird farming tool, wait until you see the mustard cracker he uses at number 10. It's exactly what it sounds like. At number 10, Jeremy attempts to make his own mustard. Now, most people would use a food processor or a mortar and pestle, but Jeremy, he went out and bought a specialized mustard cracker. It looks like something from the Victorian torture chamber, and, as you're about to see, is roughly as intuitive to use as a nuclear submarine. Watch as Jeremy tackles his greatest enemy yet, a lid. It takes a special kind of genius to spend 5 minutes fighting a mechanical object, only to realize the intake is blocked by the very thing designed to keep it clean. After finally getting the seeds in, he starts cranking it like he's trying to start a Spitfire. The result? A bowl of seeds that look exactly like they did before they went in.
But they have been cracked.
At number 9, we see the grand launch of Jeremy's cider and honey mustard. Now, branding is everything. You want a name that sounds artisanal, local, and, well, not like a biological hazard. Jeremy, however, settled on Hot Seed, and if the name wasn't questionable enough, the label design features a pair of strategically placed cherries that make the whole thing look like, well, let's just say, it belongs on a different kind of shelf.
Jeremy's Hot Seed.
Well, it's mustard seed. Look, cider and honey mustard.
Once they got past the accidental phallic imagery, the real fight started. The price. Lisa, who actually understands how shops work, suggests £5. Jeremy insists on 6. His logic? He's done the maths.
£6.
Number 8 takes us to the lambing season. It's a time for new life, fluffy animals, and apparently rubber bands. Jeremy is about to learn about ringing, a standard farming practice that is basically a male lamb's worst nightmare.
The bollocks are going to fall off.
Yeah.
Jeremy's soul slowly leaves his body as he realizes what falling off actually means. Look at his eyes. That is a man who has suddenly become very aware of his own anatomy.
A preacher's bollocks off. Very few lesbian action then.
Yeah.
It's just not like the internet.
Coming in at number 7, we step away from the animals and focus on the most neglected part of Diddley Squat, Jeremy's face. On a farm, things grow wild, but usually we're talking about the wheat, not the owner's forehead. At number 7, we have a rare moment of agricultural grooming.
Is this manscaping?
Yeah, I do.
Lisa decides that Jeremy's eyebrows have officially crossed the line from rugged farmer to prehistoric creature. Apparently, they were getting so long, they were starting to interfere with his peripheral vision. It's a touching scene, really. A woman, a man, and a pair of sharp blades inches away from his eyeballs.
Look at that! Shall we brush them?
Coming in at number 6, Caleb, the man who usually spends his time explaining to Jeremy which way is up, has a bit of a whoopsie with a tractor window. Usually, when something breaks on the farm, Caleb is the one doing the shouting. But today, Jeremy has been handed the ultimate gift, a reason to call Caleb a dingleberry on national television.
You dingleberry.
It's a rare win for Clarkson, and he celebrates it the only way he knows how, by being a complete and utter nuisance. Number 5. We see Jeremy making a move that would make any HR department have a collective aneurysm.
I've decided I'm going to make you farm manager.
Really?
Yep.
He's decided to promote Caleb from tractor driver to farm manager. Within 30 seconds of being promoted, Caleb tries to fire his own boss.
You're fired.
What?
At number 4, the weather has turned from miserable to biblical. Jeremy is out in the freezing snow, trying to move his cows into their new winter housing. It should be a simple case of leading them to a warm, dry shed. But cows don't care about your plans, and they certainly don't care that you're a world-famous television presenter.
Hell, they've actually got snow on them.
Go on then.
In fact, one of them seems to have developed a personal vendetta against Jeremy's shins. That wasn't just a nudge. That was a targeted assassination attempt.
What the fuck? Hey, stop it!
Jeremy is out there yelling "Stop it!" at a half-ton animal, like he's scolding a naughty toddler, while the cow is busy practicing its kickboxing. And the new house he's so proud of? The cows are looking at it like it's a haunted mansion.
Quickly open the door!
At number 3, Jeremy enters the world of get-rich-quick farming. He decided to turn an old bunker into a mushroom farm, convinced that fungi were basically just bags of money that grew in the dark.
Oh.
It was the perfect plan, until he actually opened the door. Instead of gourmet mushrooms ready for a Michelin star kitchen, he found a scene from a low-budget horror movie.
Obviously ruined, full of mold.
Jeremy spent thousands on high-tech fans and disinfection, only for a tiny bit of leftover spores to turn his fungal goldmine into a biological hazard. He's losing the bags, the electricity, and his last remaining shred of sanity.
So this is a financial disaster.
If you enjoyed this countdown of Diddley Squat's finest fails, don't forget to like and subscribe for more commentary. Until next time, try not to let your bollocks fall off.